we're gonna wing it. That's basically what's gonna happen. I want this to be as natural as possible. So anyway, so well, thank you. Well, first off, Alliyah, thank you for being able to make it and on the show. As I mentioned, mindful. I am mindful. Mindless Sketch is the show. I'm just basically bringing in other creatives that I'm friends with, my brotherhood, my sisterhood, friends that are in the industry to share their thoughts on what it takes to actually be successful, how to stay inspired, and how to motivate yourself and others to do the same. So
Yes.
yeah. So okay. I will introduce you, and I want to introduce you well. So Alliyah and I have been friends for quite some time, but Alliyah is not. She has a lot of different titles, but one title particularly that she's talented for is her singing abilities. So she is a singer, and she works for the PlayOS marketing agency, correct? And
Yes.
she is in charge. You are in charge of social media and marketing for them, correct?
Yes. Marketing coordinator. So I wear a bunch of different hats.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about what that entails, how you got into it. Just give us some insight. What does that role entail? And, how'd you come across it?
Wow, that's a very loaded question. I mean, like you mentioned, I do a lot of things. I dabble in a lot of things. Maybe
Yeah.
it's the ADHD in me or it's the entrepreneurial spirit in me. But a lot of these things that I've been involved in lately, I'd like to think the opportunities just kind of fell onto my lap, and you know, the window of opportunity just opened up for me at the right time, and I just went for it. And I like to think that I'm good at most of the things that I do, but if I'm being totally honest, I've been faking it till I make it.
Oh, well, you're doing a good job at faking it because you make it look so easy. I think what the viewers don't really realize is you are also on TikTok as well.
Yes.
You do
Yeah.
have a following. I don't know how big your following is, but anyway, she gets on there. She sings. She does skits. She introduces products. She has her own
Yeah.
product, which I hope she mentions as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, you'll definitely. What is your handle on TikTok?
So on TikTok, my personal is Alleyah. So it's UGH.LLEYAH. So it's like, Leah. And it's so funny you mentioned that because I just created a story before we got on here, and I was talking about overnight success and
Okay.
how we have this false idea of what overnight success really means, and I definitely wanted to bring that up because I had just I started my UGC journey back in the summer of last year, right? And I would create videos of things that I already had around the house. I made it look aesthetically pleasing. I talked about it as if I was already getting paid to do it, right?
Right.
And eventually, I was able to start my journey with TikTok Shop affiliate. But my ultimate goal was to sell videos for UGC, right? I created a portfolio. I sent it out to many different brands. And
can you explain what UGC means, the acronym?
So UGC is user generated content. And it's really hot right now. I feel like a lot of brands are leaning more towards UGC as opposed to these really cinematic masterpieces, and these really nice and pretty looking ads. Because if there's anything, people love authenticity. People love genuineness, and as a consumer myself, I like to look at reviews, like real reviews from real people about a product that I'm interested in. Because what I'm not going to do is go on the website and look at their reviews, right? Because it's biased. It's biased. They want to sell the product to you, but I want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you're going to get that only through UGC. So with that said, I made $0 from UGC videos. Now, granted, I made a little bit of money from TikTok Shop affiliate, and I kept at it. I kept at it because I knew that if other people were talking about how they finally hit their milestone, I can do it if I just kept going.
Okay.
And I finally sold my first UGC video last month.
Wow. All right.
So I finally proved that it was possible for me. And it's very cathartic for sure, because there were so many moments where I wanted to just throw in the towel and say, you know what, forget it. I'm not seeing the results that I want. I'm sick of this. Like, I don't see myself getting anywhere, but I finally did. And I'm proud of myself for that,
Yeah, so you basically you could have gave up, right?
And I wanted to.
Right.
So many times.
It does seem like it's a difficult thing to accomplish, because look, ourselves, when we're trying to make content, here at K Vibe, we can make movies, we can make commercials.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to TikTok videos, we're just horrible at it. We're just not that good, and
but see, that's
and we
the
don't have the
thing.
consistency to keep, and the thing is, I understand, because we're going on all different directions, and we're,
Mm-hmm.
we have a lot of things on our plate, but
Right.
I imagine myself sometimes, I'm like, oh, what if I had, had a little more time and I started focusing more on it, maybe I probably understand it a little bit more. And I think,
Right.
well, what you experienced is the frustration, that the grilling,
Absolutely.
the grind. So you're at a certain point, and I think this happens in like any venture. You're trying
Yes.
to make it
Absolutely.
successful, and you just kind of.
I love that you mentioned the whole consistency thing. A lot of people have been asking me, how did you do it? How did you do it? Like, what's the secret? I'm like, there's no secret, because I can try to spit out all of the things that I've heard from other creators as far as algorithm goes, SEO, and how to make your videos look pretty. All of that is well and good, but if you're not consistent, if you don't show up every single day, you're not gonna get to where you want to be. And I think that's the thing that really
100% agree.
stuck true, for me, and not just for my UGC journey, but with everything else, with every aspect in my life. I
Bingo.
just had to keep showing up, and showing up really is the key to reach any level of success that you wanna be at. And it's hard. And we as entrepreneurs, as creatives, I don't think we give ourselves the credit, and I don't think others give us enough credit, because people who work a 9 to 5, they're not going to understand this. They don't understand this. They don't understand that we are our own boss. We do the marketing, we provide the service, we do it all, right?
Right.
So while also having to make sure that our apartment is clean, that we're also feeding our souls, that we're doing the things that we enjoy. But now I
Oh yeah,
enjoy all of
100%.
this.
You need like self-care and maintenance. Like you,
Right, right. But how do you find the time? We're asleep for 8 hours, right? And now we're left with, I don't math, 16, right? 16.
right.
And we reserve a couple hours to eat, whatever, and to fool around. And then, there's not enough time in the day to balance everything. And I think
Right.
that's also what I'm struggling and working on right now is trying to find that balance, right? Because I I don't know if you go through this, but I tend to work myself so hard to the point where I reach this crash. Like I tend to burn out a lot, but that's because I hyper focus so much on the things that I find, interesting and fascinating. So I don't know. That maybe you don't go through
I,
that,
I
but
I mean, I think everybody goes through some sort of burnout.
uh-huh.
I think it just depends on like you know, what at what capacity it is, and like
Mhm.
sometimes you could be burnt out because you're just doing repetitive things, and then you could be burnt out because you're just doing too much of something. So I think there's like different
Right.
stages to it.
That's very
Some
interesting. I
might be
never thought of it that
rewarding.
way.
Some might be a little
Mhm.
more rewarding than others. The burnout of you just being burnt out because you're tired of doing the same thing, and not getting a different result and expecting a different result, which is the definition of insanity. So, but then there's the other burnout where you are accomplishing things, but maybe you just you need to reset a little bit, and so you
Mhm.
can have the energy to keep moving
Right.
forward. You know,
Right.
and I think that's I mean, yeah, I think it happens to us all. I mean, it's definitely happened to me plenty of times.
Mhm.
But I think the main thing here that I see is that you were doing a lot of social media, um, influencing, uh, is how I see it,
It's so
and your
funny.
content
I
creating.
never in a million years thought that this was something I would be doing. Like I've been on social media since, God knows how long. Um, but I never thought that there was a possibility I could be making money off of social media, and but I also I have to give credit to my mentors and to my friends like yourself, because when you stay close to like-minded individuals, they rub off on you, they really do. And I didn't realize how important it was to have a mentor and to have people guide you, to get to where you want to be. I've been doing this on my own for a very long time without the proper guidance, and now that I have the right people in my circle, I feel like I can accomplish just about anything, which is amazing.
It's a great space to be in, right?
Yeah,
It's a
no, for
great space to
sure.
be in.
And I was just telling my boss, I'm like, there's definitely money to be made. There's money to be made anywhere. You just have to look for that opportunity. You just have to look for it. You have to want it. You have to want it bad enough, and you also have to put in a level of work, to be able to see that.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's this false hope being thrown around, about the overnight success, the easy money. I'm like, there's no such thing as easy money. No such thing. And if there is, I need to know what that is. I would like to know.
I'm sure a lot of folks would want to know too.
Right?
But Yeah, I mean, I think you know, you which leads to like community, right?
Yes.
Community and just being in, you know, being around other mindsets, that positive mindsets, people that are trying to um execute on whatever vision that they have, and they have a vision, they have a goal, and when you're around people like that, you find that you have similar discussions, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what it is. If you're an entrepreneur, you're an artist, you're a writer, you're, you know, you're a chef, it doesn't matter. You guys find some kind of commonality, and
No, for sure.
um
Mm-hmm.
and then you actually, what happens is, if you work in that way, then you find out how to kind of work with each other. Sometimes
Absolutely.
you'll create relationships, because the thing is, like, you can hang out with actors all day if you're an actor, but if you don't expand your range of meeting other people, you're just going to be around actors.
Exactly.
um if
Exactly.
you're around artists, that's all you're going to have. You're just going to have the artist mindset. So it's good to kind of broaden the range of people that are in fields that you're not quite familiar with, to
Mm-hmm.
educate yourself on how kind of important that ecosystem, because we do live in an ecosystem that you know these things complement each other all day long.
Mm-hmm.
It's commerce, art, marketing, all that stuff. It's just
Right.
music, all of it. It's just part of the culture, and part of, I hate to say it, the machine, of life that we go through.
No,
You know,
yeah. No, for sure. And I couldn't agree more. I if we had met a couple years ago, I I I would have never. It's so weird. I was a completely different person 3 years ago, even 2 years ago, and here I am trying new things and being okay with being a beginner. And before this world that I've been exposed to, I was so opposed to trying new things. I hated being a beginner. It's such a shot at my ego. There's something about trying new things that I hate. I hate it so much. I don't like not being good at things, but now I'm learning that in order to grow, you got to fail a couple times. You got to fall a couple times and just keep getting back up. What's that quote? Is it Muhammad Ali? You fall 7 times, get up 8 times. Uh, was it him?
possibly, I don't know.
Was it
I'll
him?
tell
I
you
don't know.
this
It's
much.
it's a boxer, but
The one I always remember is the Thomas Edison one, where he like got
Mhm.
the light bulb to work on what's it, the thousandth time, and
No
I
way.
can't even say the word thousand, but so that try, there was 999 times where he failed, but
Wow.
he didn't call it failure. I figured out 999 ways of how not to light a light bulb.
Wow. That's a really great mentality. I like that. And it's so funny because I was talking to my boss about that. Right. So I've been sitting on this idea for a while. Um, I proposed hosting a networking slash pop-up event in my building next month. And I told my boss the idea. And he's like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "What do you think?" And he's like, "I think it's a great idea. Why don't you do it?" I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to do it. I don't, he's like, "Well, you have all of the tools. You have the right people to ask for advice. Why don't you just do it?" So I talked about it a little bit more. I talked about it for a couple weeks before I actually went and did it. I talked about it till I got sick of I got sick of myself. I got sick of hearing my own voice. And I'm like, all right, enough is enough. If in
Uh,
order for me to find out if this is going to work or not, I just have to do it. So here I am
yeah.
now putting together a networking / pop-up event um, to bring an experience to the residents while also giving
Is this a
the
pop-up one that you've been advertising? The
yes,
So that's going to
ready,
be at the
set, connect.
building too?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be at your okay. All right.
Yeah. I'm like, we have such a beautiful clubhouse. It's never being utilized. And we have, 200 residents in the building. And I'm like, we're not using it. Why don't we use it?
There you go.
And so
Perfect.
I think it's going to be a great thing. And even if it's not, at the very least, I know what not to do. And I know that there's something else. There's
Well,
something
maybe
else
you
out
might
there for me.
I mean, look, is it when's it coming up?
March 9th.
March 9th. And tell us
Yes,
about
that's a
the event.
Saturday.
So just tell us about the event.
So Ready, Set, Connect. That was it was just it started out as a little baby idea. And I'm like, you know what? I'm so sick of my building not having any events. I want to host one.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a twofold thing, right? Because I'm an entrepreneur, I understand that other other businesses and other entrepreneurs would appreciate a place to showcase their products and services. So I'm like, what a beautiful way to appease both ends, right? Now I'm creating an experience for the residents, but I'm also giving small businesses the opportunity to promote themselves. Why not, right? Um, and I didn't really think anything of it. I'm like, okay, wow, this could actually be something. So depending on how it goes, I guess I'll have to give you guys an update after the event. But
Okay.
I was able to sell out all 15 spots. I was able to measure, how many vendors could fit. And in just 2 days, I was able to sell out. And I was like, whoa,
There you
there's
go.
no way. And the feedback that I got was the most fulfilling part of it all. Um, the way that they said, thank you for bringing this to the community, for bringing the community together. This is such a great idea. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't think this would be appreciated as much as it is. And I'm like, wow, this is why I love what I do. Being able to give back and to make a difference, even if it's in the slightest bit. That's good enough for me, you know.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
think it's great. Well, congratulations to selling out all the
Thank
spots,
you.
and I think that people crave like live events. They're into. They want to get out of their houses. They want to get out their apartments.
Right.
Maybe you made it even more convenient for them because it's right where they live.
It's
So,
right in the
um,
comfort of their own home.
and the thing is that you might find out now that they're there and they know you're running it. So you might find out maybe some of them have their own businesses and maybe they want to be part of the next one. You never know.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
So my hope, my hope is to grow this as big as I can because I don't want this to only be within my immediate community. I want to be able to support and give the opportunities to other, to surrounding areas, to the
mhm,
surrounding cities, because it's not, in order for us to grow, we have to open our doors to beyond our circle. You know what I
sure,
mean?
sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I think probably keep things do your analytics. So just make sure that what average spend people are making,
Hmm.
what people are spending during those shows, because that's
Right.
important. And and then just I would probably just if you're gonna, I would probably stick to you're in a good spot right there because you can build the
Yeah.
community up and have you build loyalty that way, right? So then when
And
you
that's
do
really what I want to
expand,
do.
yeah,
Mhm.
when you do expand and do other locations, then you'll be a lot more prepared for it. So, but I think
Mhm.
that no, I think it's great that you just jumped in and kind of went and just get it
Thanks.
done. I think that's the point. Look, I started
Yeah.
this podcast and I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. And
I love that for
I didn't even
you.
think it. I didn't even
I
think I
love
didn't
that for
just did it.
you. I think this is an amazing move for you. And I remember a couple months ago we were talking about podcasting and how I wanted to do a podcast, but I had to come to Jesus and I had to really like be so for real with myself. I don't have the time, and I love spitballing ideas and I love to bounce ideas off of someone and talk for hours. I could really talk anybody's ear off for hours. However, I just don't have the bandwidth, and
Yeah,
I don't want to stretch myself out too thin, which I feel I've been doing lately.
yeah,
But this is such a good idea, all the times that we waste talking about ideas when we could just do it.
yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at right now. I just want to go in and just do it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. At least I learned a lesson and I can move on to the next thing. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's kind of like the motivation behind the podcast is just jumping in, doing it. Um, the thing is that you can research all you want. You can take the time to try to make things perfect, but it never will be. And you might be wrong still, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I think that's half of the problem when you're trying to be creative is you're trying to bring it to that,
Oh
oh,
my
when's the
God.
right way to launch? What's the right way to do it?
Yes.
And maybe this isn't the right time. Maybe I need this kind of platform. Maybe the format should be like this. Oh, they're saying the algorithm is like this. They say, oh, they're not going to get any views if you do it that way. Like, no, I'm just like,
That
you know,
that was me. That was me when I first started, and it's so funny that you mentioned that, because now my one of the things that I stick to now is done is better than perfect. If you worry about being perfect, if you get stuck on creating a perfect video, I'm never going to progress. Or I might, but I'll just progress at a very, very slow rate. So done is always better than perfect. And that will be the hill that I die on.
oh my gosh. Okay, so that you spoke about your voyage as a social media influencer, content creator. Um, Tell us a little bit about how that um, kind of got you into the space of working with the PlayOS agency.
Wow. Where do I even begin? So working with PlayOS agency was
First, tell the viewers like what PlayOS is.
so PlayOS agency is a full service marketing agency. And when I joined, I had zero idea what I was doing. I think that was the first thing I did last year where I just went in blindly. I had no idea what it took to be a marketing coordinator. And if you were to ask me what I do, I couldn't really tell you. I coordinate. I manage projects. I make sure deadlines are met. I coordinate calls. I send out emails. So I do that on a regular basis, just making sure that the team's doing what they're supposed to do. And I'm also the executive assistant to the publisher of Newark Bound magazine. So that's really cool too. I send out emails when needed. I manage his social media accounts, well, some of them. And if there's the one thing that I have learned throughout all of this, working with, a marketing agency and working for a publisher, there's so much to learn. There is so much to learn. And I really, they remind me every day that I don't know anything.
The truth is, nobody knows anything. They all are
Very
learning every
true.
day. Everything changes
Very
every day
true.
to day. Mm-hmm.
Like I'll sit on meetings and they'll talk about designs, and that's where I'm like, I mean, I know that they're speaking English, but do I
Is
understand
that
what
when you
they're
check
saying?
out? Is that when you check
Yes,
out?
that's when I check out. So I'll be sitting on a meeting, right? And then they start talking design concepts, and I'm like,
You're like, I don't know about this stuff.
okay, so just let me know what the action items are. I'll write those down. But it's really nice to be able to meet all of these people, because you never know where your next opportunity will come from. And that's the biggest thing for me. Like that's why I love working for my bosses, because there's so much opportunity. There's so much opportunity out there, meeting new people and networking with the right people. This brings us back to our original statement. The true power of networking and knowing the right people, it truly makes a difference. Like it don't, sometimes it only takes that one person to get you ahead, and that to me is the key.
Simply said. See,
Yeah.
people out there that are listening, you can't stay on your own island, right? You have to get
No.
out there. You have to let people
Hmm.
see you. You
Yeah.
can't
And it's
be
so
hidden.
important. It's so important to surround yourself with people you look up to, with people who are more successful than you, because then you see it. It's like, it's making it habitual, right? It becomes habitual when you see firsthand people who are successful. Not only do their actions rub off on you, but they are a walking testimony. They show you every day that it's possible to reach that level of success. All you gotta do is stay close to them, and listen to what they have to say. You have to be open to learning. You have to be open to learning new things, and really accepting that you don't know everything. And I mean, you and I have been friends for years, and that sometimes I could be a know-it-all. But in this space, I'm okay with saying, all right, I'm gonna shut up and listen, because I don't know about this. I don't know much about this, and I'm willing to learn. And that's really the key to growth. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think you have yourselves some pretty good mentors over there. You have Vic and Larry, right?
I
So
do. Vic and Larry, they are awesome. And you as well. I mean, hey, you're one of those. I look up to you. I don't say it all the time, but I
yeah,
do.
I'm just
You
here.
you get a lot of you get a lot of stuff done, and we don't give ourselves enough credit, but I'm here to give you the credit.
Well, thank you. I
You are
appreciate that.
welcome.
Oh man, no, it's this great stuff. I guess just that the last thing we'll say. I just want to explore it too. Is just the music side of you.
Oh, the music. I love how you save that for last, right? So in my heart of hearts, I am a singer and I love what I do, because sometimes I am not the best in articulating my words, but I am really good at singing a song. So I've been singing at restaurants, and I actually just had a gig at a senior home. It was my first time singing at a senior home ever, and it was on Valentine's Day. So it was very fulfilling, very, very fulfilling. And I love what I do. I really do. But I did take a break from it, to take care of, my mental health, because that's also very important. I'm trying to prioritize that. I don't want to burn out.
Okay.
And I'm
Do you want
still,
to talk
hmm?
about that a little bit, or like,
Yeah, no, I mean, how do I put it? I feel like I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself lately because I haven't, as much as I like to show that I have it all together, I don't. And I try to be as transparent as possible, and I'm very comfortable with being vulnerable and open about that, because if there's one thing about me, um, I'm going to stay true to myself, right?
right?
And lately I've come to a realization that I can't help myself. Like, I need someone to help me. So it's just been a lot. Like, how do I put it? I haven't found real stability yet, and it's been tough on my mental. And I know that I'm not alone in this. I know that I'm not alone in this. I know that people much older than I am are still trying to figure it out, right? And there is some comfort in that.
Now, when
But
you say stability, do you mean like financial,
it's not
or do you
even
mean
that.
stability in like,
So
um,
we were talking about singing, right? And I
mm-hmm,
brought in mental health because I'm talking in terms of what it is that I really want to do, because I love everything that I do, but I have to be so real with myself. I can't do everything that I want to do.
right,
Um, which is why I never started my podcast, right?
right,
I knew that it would take hours, it would take effort, it would take time. And I had to really calculate and evaluate, do I really have the time, effort, the energy to put together a podcast and to really stay on top of it when I'm already doing a million other things? And it all comes down to figuring out what I really want to do and figuring out my priorities and what is it that's most important to me. And I still haven't figured that out yet. And as much as I love to sing, and as much as that makes me happy, I've I've been struggling with this for years, and I haven't found the answer yet. And as great as my mentors are, I think that this is something that
it's your
I have to
personal
really,
voyage.
yeah, like, this is my personal journey, and I have to really figure this out on my own with the help of a professional. And it's been rough, and
I
I
understand.
don't I don't know what it is. I don't I couldn't tell you, I wish I knew, but I guess I'll
Yeah,
figure
look,
it out when it comes.
I think, it's I get, there's times that where, and I think I've shared it with you, that I'm at a
Mhm.
loss. I don't know, like, exactly.
Mhm.
And it's not it's not a lack of talent. It's just more about, just trying to figure out where it is that you want to be.
Yes. Yes,
Where do I want to be?
exactly. Exactly. You hit it right on the nose. It's what is it? Like, what is that I want to do? And am I'm always constantly questioning myself, like, am I doing the right thing? Like, are the things that I'm doing putting me where I'm supposed to be? Like, is this is
Right.
this the right thing to do? And I'm always second guessing myself. And I hate
Well,
that. I hate that.
yeah, I trust me, I totally get it. It's fun. It's I feel like that as well. But I think there was one thing. I had a conversation with my daughter. She goes, she's in college right now, and I think there's one of. I mean, it is a scary conversation to have when she's already in school. But
Yeah.
the conversation became just like it's not that she doesn't want to become an artist. She is going to art school for that
Okay.
reason. But sometimes, the conversation just became more about, just because you have the talent to become the artist, a painter, an illustrator, doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you need, where you need to be.
Oh,
It doesn't mean that you're, like if everybody believes you should be this great artist, there's a lot riding on that. There's a lot of
yeah.
people don't realize that the weight of disappointment if you don't reach that, because
Right.
you're thinking, well, if this is what people think that I am and I don't attain it, you're gonna think that that's all you were ever meant to be.
Hmm.
So that's why it's important to, and I'm starting to kind of learn this, and that's why I'm a lot more explorative now.
Hmm.
And the thing is that where you think you should be might not exactly be where you ought to be.
Oh my
So
goodness. I'm about to get emotional. That's crazy because that's the one thing that I don't want to come to a realization to, because I've been singing all my life and I love it and I know that I'm good at it. Um it's just I don't want to find out that it's not for me. I don't want that to be my reality. Um
right, I'm not
and I'm
saying that
scared that it might be. It
the
might
thing is,
be.
I think that it's layered though. It's
Mhm.
like I don't think that I'm never I'm not going to be an artist.
Mhm.
I just think that you know what is in store
Mhm.
maybe might be greater than the the one dimensional kind of goal, which is
Mhm.
be this artist, be this artist, be this artist.
Right.
It could be a couple of things that do incorporate that,
Mhm.
which does make it a lot more more three-dimensional, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, no, of
um
course.
like you might think that you need to have all the answers right now, and I don't think that that will happen. Maybe in your case it might be you're explorative and then you do hit it, and it's
Mhm.
just it's all works out differently for every person. So
Mhm.
I think at least with me, I'm starting to at least not have that in my head, that responsibility of having to make it. you know it's
Mhm.
like, I know it's weird. It's almost like having an I don't care anymore attitude. Um,
Yeah, like YOLO, whatever.
yeah, it's more like that. It's you know, I think it's this. I think I look at it like this. Like I've worked at this for so many years, and at this point, I don't think I can. I don't think I need to devote my time in learning more about it. It's
Mhm.
just more about um, it's more about people now. It's more about
Yeah.
it's like in you with your talent with music. I think it's more about you just working more with collaborating with other people instead of just keeping yourself in this box, right? So,
Yes. I think so too. I like to sometimes I tend to, box myself in this confined space and I forget that I can step out and I can be more than just this. I Now, back to what you were saying, just because you're good at something doesn't mean you should pursue that. What if we're able to pursue it all, right? But in
Right.
a perfect world,
Right.
let's just say that's possible. But I think my biggest fear is finding out, oh well, this is what I meant to pursue, and
Yeah.
it's
I don't
not
think
what
it's
I thought that was.
but I don't think it's finite to like, oh, I didn't make it or I'm never going to be it. I think that's too
Mm-hmm.
finite. I think, I think things happen, and I don't know other people's beliefs systems here, but, you know, it's like, the saying in God's time, you know?
Yes, I believe that. I truly
So,
believe that.
things line up. I don't know, and I'm sure you can attest to that, is that things
Absolutely.
line up at the right time when you're ready. It's like what you would have listened to advice at a certain point of your life, you would have disregarded. But now you're at
Oh
this
my
point in your
God.
life and you met these people, now you're open to it, right?
Yes. It's
So
it's
then
oh my God,
maybe,
it's crazy.
when you're going through this journey, there'll be a point where now you already know, you've probably already worked with a lot of people, more grounded, you understand yourself more as a singer and an artist,
Mm-hmm.
and then an opportunity will present itself as you're growing and learning all these other things, and it'll present
Mm-hmm.
it to you at the right time. We're in God's time, you know
Yes.
and
When I'm ready.
when you're ready when you're
Yeah.
ready. I 100% believe in that. I mean,
I do
we're
too.
going through that right now. Like, so Quaz in Lithuania, he's doing
Oh, he ended up going. Oh my gosh.
well, he's not filming yet. He's just
Mm-hmm.
scouting, doing locations, meeting with the production to do a film out there. So he's getting to know and get acclimated with the place. So this way they know
That's
how
amazing.
what they're going to do when they actually start shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm pretty confident they're gonna go into and get that green lit and everything. So,
I'm so happy for you guys. Yay.
but he's gonna be highly invested in doing it full time.
Mm-hmm.
Doing films. And
Wow.
the thing is, he came back, and that was his thing when he came back in January from filming a Christmas movie. Right now, it's being wrapped up in post production. So that'll be in the next film that's going to be released right before he jumps right back into that. In the meanwhile, we're concentrating. He wants to shift everything. He's going 100% into films. We're going to make our own
Wow.
content. We're going to bring stuff in. We're just going to film it, get investors, shop it, sell the content, license it, um, and then the shift is basically building a community here of
Mm-hmm.
artists, music, everything, music, film, writing, art, all of it. And that's
Wow.
part of that to platform that we've been talking about for the past like 3 years.
I
And
love that.
yeah, so it's a licensing platform, and we're going to be going in pretty heavy. We're going to have we're going to fast our first event for the platform on April 26th. And
Ooh.
we actually have
I gotta
a
write that down.
yeah, yeah. Oh no, you're definitely gonna be part of that. So
Uh-huh.
um April 26th, it's a and if I'm wrong on that, let me double
Oh,
check this here.
that's after Vic's big event. So
Let me
his big
see.
event is
April.
April 25, and that's going to be at the Crystal Plaza. So that's
Let
going to
me
be
see.
very exciting.
Yeah, tell us about that.
So I did mention that I work for the publisher of Newark Bound magazine. His name is Victor Nichols, and he owns the PlayOS marketing agency and DMC Publishing. So he was also announced the new host of Meet the Mayors. So Meet the Mayors is happening April 5th of this year. And that's going to be in West Orange, I believe. Yes, West Orange. and we're going to have a couple mayors from within Essex County talking about the current, issues that are going on. It's free to attend, and that's going to be super exciting. It's going to give people the opportunity to network as well. And then the big event, which is the Newark Bound networking event, he hosts this every year. He stopped after COVID, but he's bringing it back up. It's for the relaunch of Newark Bound magazine, which will be released hopefully by the fall. And he's very excited about that. I'm really excited about that. This is going to be my first time attending one of his big events. I've heard nothing but great things about this event. So this is a must attend if you haven't ever. April 25th at the Crystal Plaza in Livingston. And it's a great opportunity for networking, to meet like-minded individuals.
Is it an evening event or daytime event?
It's going to be an evening event. It's going to be an evening event, and there's going to be some big folks up in there, so you don't want to miss it.
All right.
We actually have to talk about that and plan out your stuff, because I know that you guys are going to be a part of this for sure.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
we definitely talk offline on that one for sure.
For sure.
But yeah, so it is the 26th of April that we're going to be having our event, for this to-do event. And the events that I'm going to start, what I'm doing is I'm gathering some people that already have like finished products, so that they want to license out. So Colin Bell is the music composer that is going to be releasing his album. He worked on a show called Echoes. So the soundtrack from that show is going to be debuted that night. So two weeks prior to his actual launch. So he's going to be selling the albums after it, so everybody gets an advanced hearing of the track. So yeah, go ahead.
Is this event going to be at K-Vibe Studios?
Yes, it's going to be at K-Vibe Studios.
Nice.
It's a live event.
And so, from what time?
We're probably I'm looking at like a run from like 6 p.m. to 11.
Nice.
The program. So
cool.
So we're going to be doing a couple of things, not only just releasing the music, the album, the soundtrack, but we're also going to be doing education on licensing and distribution.
Wow,
for
that's
artists,
very helpful.
Because we're going into an age where people don't even know what IP means, and it's also that day is the official IP Appreciation Day. I don't know if people know that, but you can look it up. It's an actual thing. It's an actual thing. It's an IP day. So, and it doesn't mean you urinated yourself. It just means intellectual properties. IP means intellectual property. That means anything that you actually create that's original and not a copy or you're ripping off somebody else's idea.
Right.
You're actually creating, it could be original music, could be, it could be produced music, it could be films that are completed, it could be scripts. Any of that stuff can be copyrighted. Copyright, you can copyright IP. You can copyright. The IP means it's what you made, your intellectual property. You can't, to copyright it means you're protecting yourself from other people using that. Now you could, if they do use it, now you have grounds for a lawsuit. That's, or at least cease and desist at minimum, right? And also you can license. you can license your IP. Once you copyright it, now you can license it. In licensing, are you familiar with licensing?
Not at all. So I
Okay.
definitely have to be there.
Yes. So you definitely have to be there. But I always like, explain licensing like when you used to go to Blockbuster, you rented a movie, you paid
Yep.
$5 to see it for 2 days, and if you didn't return it, you had to pay another $5, right? So for another 2 days. That's what licensing is. So just imagine your song being licensed for 2 years or 2 months or whatever. Then every time it expires, they can opt to renew, and then they got to pay again. So that's how it works.
So when a song gets licensed, that means they're paying to be able to use it?
If I wanted to be in my film, to use your song in my film, then you would license the song out. You can license it in perpetuity, which like, I'm not going to take the song out of the film, right? It's already baked in the film. So then you just pay this price for it to forever be in that film.
Okay,
and then
got it.
And so you'll make a price for that. It's like making packages for the usage of your IP.
Now what if a radio wanted to play your song? So that's a different kind of licensing?
That's different. That's a different thing. Yeah.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, there's a lot involved in that, but a lot of it is in your control. As long as you're the one that's copywriting it. If you give it to some distributor, some middleman, then they're going to handle all of that for you. But if you do that, then you also don't have transparency. So that's when you don't know. Well, I don't know. I've been hearing it here, there, in the other place. I don't see any money. Where's the money coming? When's the money coming? Right. So that's a whole idea about transparency with your IP. And I think going forward, artists need to understand how valuable their IP is and how they should properly control it. That's why you had situations with like TLC, Mariah Carey, and all these great artists that basically were in debt by the time they were out. They've
It's
passed their prime.
horrible. Yeah, it's horrible. It's I think the music industry in general is very if you don't understand it, if you don't understand the business side of it, it can really screw you over. And that's why I'm very adamant on making sure that I have the right people by me to properly guide me and give me the tools and resources so that I understand, when someone's, scamming me, when a good opportunity presents itself, I'll be able to see that and identify. But I have zero idea how the music industry works from a business point of view, and even just in general, and so this event is definitely a must attend.
Yeah, I know. We're basically going to be trying to educate the artist community, whether in all different areas, and just we get together, have a networking event, and just get to know each other. That's all. You don't know what collaborations can come out of it. So
yes,
that's what we're looking for.
Absolutely. Yep. I love that. Look at us networking. It's so nice.
I know. People are scary.
No, people are scary. I'm not a fan of people, but you know what? We're good at it. So
yeah. Why not?
It works.
Right?
Why not, right? Why not?
Why not? Why not? So anyway, so I think I think we hit a lot of topics today. So
yeah.
I want to thank you for coming on and being a guest and
thank you so much
sharing
for
a little bit
me.
about yourself. You're welcome.
And thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate being a guest on your show, and I'm so happy you finally decided to do this. It's been a long time waiting. So this is awesome. I love it.
Thanks. Until the next time,
Yes.
definitely if you want to share where they can find you, by the way, Alliyah.
Yes. So my TikTok is UGH.LLEYAH. Thank
All
you so
right.
much again, Joe. Love
Yeah,
ya.
no problem. No problem. And again, if you guys have any questions or you want to make any comments, go ahead and let us know what you think about the podcast. And if you're interested in being part of the show, go on ahead. This is the Mindless Sketch Show.
Yes, we love mindless sketch.
Yeah. So
All right.
keep your head up and keep creating, man. All right.
Bye.